Day 6. What is the cloud? Today you will get a good understanding of what the cloud is. We've already touched on some cloud services, but we haven't called them by that name yet. The cloud is just a metaphor for the internet. In everyday language, we often refer to the cloud as a single entity, like the document is in the cloud. But the cloud is really a variety of different services. It is the whole internet. The document is in the cloud could refer to the document is in a DROPBOX folder, the document is on Office 365, or the document is on some other internet service. So cloud services can be divided up into 3 categories: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Let's start with the type that you're most familiar with, SaaS, short for Software as a Service. It is an application that lives on the internet. Instead of downloading a software like Word and installing it on your computer, you go to a web address where you have a word processor like Google Docs. You don't need to download the software. Also, the software is constantly updated and you always have the latest version. So you're not buying a product one time, you're subscribing to a service, hence the name Software as a Service. IaaS, short for Infrastructure as a Service, is a replacer of a physical server. We've talked about servers before, but let's recap a bit. A server is a computer that takes requests from clients and responds with information. It used to be the case that you needed to have these servers somewhere physically in order for you to run a website or web app. So in order for you to build a website, you had to invest in hardware, real computer servers. But today, other companies are renting out this hardware. These are companies like Google and Amazon who already have tons of servers for their own business. Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS, is giving the developers the base layer. The benefit is that only the cost for the usage is paid for. So if that website is not a smashing success, it is cheap. And if there's hundreds of thousands of users, you pay more. Before there were services like this, developers had to buy new servers if there was more users to scale up. Platform as a Service, PaaS for short, is like an IaaS, but with some additional things built into the service, usually databases. A variation of this is the backend as a service, the DROPBOX, which provides the whole backend as a service, both the database, the backend language, and the server, so that you only write the front-end code. These are the 3 variations of cloud services. So it's understandable that people are being confused by the term the cloud, since it can mean everything from a replacement of a server to a word processor on the internet. The cloud is just a reference to where the information is located, that is, on the internet. So the 3 various kinds of cloud services are Software as a Service, SaaS, an application that is on the internet like Office 365, Google Docs, etc. Infrastructure as a Service, the base layer and the replacement for a web server. Some examples here are Amazon Web Services, often shortened as AWS, Windows Azure, and Google Compute Engine. And lastly, Platform as a Service, PaaS, which is like an IaaS but with some additional functionality built in, usually a database but also sometimes a backend language. Examples are AWS Elastic Beanstalk, Heroku, and Google App Engine. Today, as an extra thing, if you have a couple of minutes extra, think about some products that you previously had installed on your computer, but that is today software as a service instead.